All right, welcome back, my dear student. So it's time for us to start doing a little bit more processing with our pagination system, right? We are sending the GET request with this link that we created here with a loop, all right? And we are also processing the count and doing some really cool stuff here. But now it's time for us to not leave the GET request by itself. We can't just leave the poor GET request by itself. We need to catch it and do something with it, right? So anyway, let's do some processing with that GET request. So first we want to check to see if we are getting a GET request, because basically, and let me just show you right now. Basically what we're going to be doing right now is that we are going to be limiting this right here. Let's say, for example, limit 0, 5, right? So now if I go here, enter, I'm just going to have 5 pages right here, 5 posts. All right, but I need to send this page request. Let's say if I send 3, I want PHP or MySQL, right, to give me the next results, the next 5. All right, so basically we're gonna be sending a GET request here. All right, we're gonna assign it a variable. We assign it to a variable, and then we're gonna use that variable right here to actually limit the amount of posts we get per page. All right, so let's go ahead. Hopefully you understand that. If not, don't worry, I'll explain everything at the end. So, and I'll explain some as I go. Let's go ahead and check for a GET request, right, with this isEt function and an if statement, so we don't get a problem. We don't get an undefined index in our error in our page. If you get an undefined index, that's what it is. So if we have a GET request named page, right, with a key of page, we're going to assign that to a variable called page. If for some reason it's not set, we don't want to leave it alone, right? We're just going to assign an empty string to it. All right, so now let's find out what page 1 is. So let's go and say if our GET request, which is now page, equals to an empty string. Let's just do it here, that's fine. Or is equal to 1, then we know it's home page, right? And we want to do something there. Well, we're going to assign a new variable called page 1 to 0. That's how we find out page 1, right? And this is how we find out that GET request. All right, perfect. So now if for some reason we're not on page 1 or is, not empty on top, right? Which basically that's what it means, is on index.php. If we are on page 2, for example, so let's do an else here, because that means we are somewhere else, right? We're going to assign the same variable some other values. Basically what we're going to be doing is some processing here. We're going to do some math, and I want my math, the first calculation that I'm going to put in this parenthesis, to go first, and that's how we tell it. All right, we do it just like regular math. We use a parenthesis and we say, we do our calculation. In this case, it's going to be times 5. All right, so if we are on page 1, it's going to be 0, and 0 times 5 is 5. All right, so it's going to give us 5. Then what we want to do is we want to actually minus it. So let's say we are on page 2 and we say page 2 times 5 is 10, minus 5 is 5. So on the page 2 we're going to have 5 results. All right, so you can see how this goes. All right, so what's the next step after this? All right, well, right now we could, if we wanted to, grab our page 1 and assign it to our limit right here and save it. Let's come here and see what's going on. All right, enter. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? Second page. All right, 1, 2, and I don't know if you see it, but it is different. Now let me show you right now. You see it says, just because I have the same names and the same placeholder for each individual post, that's why you can't really see exactly. So let's go to page 1 real quick and I'll show you. If I click here, you can see that ID for this post is 64. Let's go back and let's go to page 2. If I click here again, you can see the ID is 72. Let's go back and let's do page 5. So that way we can see the big difference. It was 72 before, and if we click now, you can see 87. So it's giving us the results. It's giving us 5 by 5 on each page. All right. So anyway, on the next lecture, we'll continue with this, and hopefully you're having some fun. And I'll see you in the next lecture. Take care.